Yes, we have Brianna Rhue back on the Aaron Werner podcast, and I think we've shared this story a number of times, but to me it'll never get old. When almost 2 years ago now, Brianna reached out and said, "Hey, can I be on your podcast?" And I said, "Absolutely." And she mentioned Buy Back Your Time with Dan Martell, which ended up being the first book of the book club that turned into Book Nerds, which completely upended and changed my life for the positive. So appreciate it. And now we've got a fantastic friendship, and I need to slum it every now and then and do my own emails. But the value of the time that we have, I don't think I was aware, because I was your typical, I don't even want to say optometrist, your typical professional that just puts their nose down and grinds and grinds and grinds and grinds and grinds. And I think I was, scared of change, because if this doesn't work, then I have to grind even harder to catch back up. And I don't even think that I was aware of what the opportunities and possibilities were, because my nose was down grinding a bunch. So I appreciate you, Brianna, opening my eyes to how valuable my time is, and how we can, really help others help us and help themselves by building a community around the goals we're trying to do. So thank you.
Yeah, it's been, that one call has been life-changing for myself too. Just with Book Nerds and all, we've learned and went from deal friends to real friends. If you haven't listened to the Book Nerds, that was our last book. And the one this month obviously is a killer read as well. And yeah, I'm just so appreciative for all that this has brought to me and continue to bring. And really this, what we're going to focus on today that leads very well into it is understanding the value of everybody's time in your office, from the patients to your team to you, and that cycle from phone calls to busy work to back at it. And I'll share some new metrics that I'm measuring actually in my own practice that have also been very eye-opening as we're all managing and wanting to grow the right way and the efficient way with all that AI can do. And thanks for having me on.
Yep, absolutely. So I think everybody knows you, but for those who may not, give a quick intro, and then we'll talk about why you're the perfect person to help us with our topic for today.
Yeah, so I am Brianna Rhue. I have a private practice in South Florida. So I became a partner in 2015. I bought my partner out in 2023. We retired him over the course of a year. I have two wonderful associates there, heavy myopia management, heavy scleral lens practice. But then I created Dr. Contact Lens when I was 9 months pregnant, actually. So it is now 9. I have a 9-year-old. And it is, becoming that unruly preteen. It's really funny. Like the birth of a company, the birth of a baby, it's like the parallel. It's unbelievable. And growing up now as a high growth CEO, and how I've been able to carry that back over, but also learning the industry, learning the other side of it. Aaron, you and I get a very different look. Yeah. And I love what you do on here in sharing that, where we can continue to get better, continue to lead this profession, but that we're all part of this really fun and small industry.
Yep.
And I don't mean small in like that kind of way, but it's a very, very well connected industry.
Oh yeah. Now the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon is really more like 3 degrees of optometry. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And I will share that a couple things that you may not about yourself. One, you are one hell of a pickleball player, and incredibly competitive. She's also amazing on karaoke night. So if you ever get a chance to see Brianna sing karaoke, I would take you up. I would take that chance in a heartbeat. And I also, when I graduated optometry school, I saw the pillars of our profession and said, God, if I can be like those guys, I won't have any of the problems that I have. And I bring this up because I think we're both fairly successful. I try to surround myself with very successful colleagues, and we're not immune to any of the problems. I mean, I've called you with staff frustrations, with associate frustrations. You've called me back with them. And so I think that it's not an immunity to those. it's because we're still dealing with people. But you and I have done, and the groups that we're a part of have done a really good job of surrounding ourselves with other colleagues who say, hey, we can't change necessarily this person or that situation, but how can we move forward with it and work through it? So I think that it's important to recognize that, you and I still get to deal with the same grind that everybody else listening on this does, right?
We
Calling
do.
in late, coming out sick, asking for 50% raises, and managing things differently than we would manage. Sometimes to our surprise that it worked out well, and sometimes to our frustration that we think there might be missing the boat on how we see the world and see things. And so it's been a lot of fun to optometry with you.
Yes, it is.
I've also learned a ton, and the topic of today is contact lenses. You, with Dr. Contact Lens, have a very unique view behind the curtain that's behind the curtain. So you're deep in the weeds on the sausage making, on how contacts work. Because I'll admit, I always thought there was just a little fairy that, when we put a contact lens order, just magically like, boop, here's your box of Biofinities, and it just shows up in 3 days at your office, and then getting upset that when I tried to return it, there was still sticker residue from the right or left sticker on the box that we were trying to clean off. And, how come that little lens fairy just can't wave her magic wand again and get rid of that residue and give me my credit back? And then, so as we've talked and I've learned from you, it doesn't quite work that way. There's not a fairy. It's actually quite complex, and interestingly, the whole process of getting a contact lens from patient comes in, says I want them, all the way through to where they get their annual supply of contacts, and all the steps and the processes in the way of that.
Yeah, I got millions of dollars invested in that process, Aaron.
Yes.
So, I've had to learn it the hard way.
Yes.
When we were creating Dr. Contact Lens, it's funny, I really thought we were building a website. This is not a website. This has now over 90 different integrations with the HIPAA compliance and the EMR systems and the distributors and the manufacturers and quotes and Care Credit and Apple Pay and Google Pay and the AI that comes in and changes, Biofinity -5.2586 actually into a SKU item from our EMR systems. So it's been fun sharing all of that, from you just want to compete to making it easy for your team and easy for your customer, because
Yes.
at that moment they're purchasing something from you.
Yep.
I think that's a really, really classic mistake I see happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those who haven't heard my rant, our patients are customers. They're consumers of healthcare. They get to choose where they spend their dollars. And I believe that our practices where they receive their care are the best places to get all of their care. But I think that we also become very burdensome sometimes to them in doing so. We don't make it easy. It's not the KISS principle. It's really the quantum physics. You sure you want to buy from me?
Well, I wish that conversation was even happening. Because a lot of the times we think it's happened in the exam room, right? You're approving the patient for the annual supply they get up front. And I'll just go right into this. A lot of us think that patients or customers are leaving our practices to go somewhere else, really because of price. Guys, it is not price. We have done the studies. We've done the exit studies. It's confusion. Like, people that are confused, just like yourself, don't buy when they are confused. The other piece to this is convenience. As a busy mom of 2 young boys with 2 businesses, a husband, playing pickleball, karaoke, all the things that I love to do, right? I don't want to go back to pick something up, rush in at 5 o'clock, maybe you're closed because I got stuck at the red light down the street, to pick up my contacts. I want to be able to see on my terms. So I think a lot of this is flipping the script. And what I see, Aaron, is we're still, so within this is quoting patients. Quote them efficiently, not on a sticky note, not on your orange sticky notes or your blue ones. I've got like lots of sticky notes here. I got orange and blue today. Which one do you want? Which one? Right? No one trusts your math. No one is trusting your math.
Nope.
So when you say, this $900 year supply with this $250 rebate and this vision plan is giving you this $150, you've already lost the patient. Okay, after your total, with including your vision plan and your rebate, your total today is $550. Is that cash, check, or charge? Pause. But what I'm seeing is a lot of people are these quotes that we're doing, okay, is a lot of them are doing these price comparison quotes. So you're pricing 1-800 right on your piece of paper. You're pricing Costco right on your piece of paper. That's not the way to do it. When you go to Target, do you think Amazon's prices are on Target's shelf? When you go to Barnes and Nobles to buy a book, do you think Amazon's prices are right there? No. When you go to Walmart, do you think Amazon's prices are right there? When you go to Chick-fil-A, do you think Burger King's prices are right there? When you do that, you've already made it about price.
Yep.
And guess what? You already have to be cheaper than that box.
Yeah.
Or the patient, and they're not going to hear you because that probably wasn't even their reason. But also remember, Aaron, that our patients buy the way that we buy. So if you're not confident, if you're not clear, if you don't see the value in that, and we don't practice this enough, just like we practice optometry, guys. We practice talking about dry eye. We practice talking about myopia management. We practice talking about glaucoma. You got the reps in because you spoke that language over and over and over and over and over till you're blue in the face.
Yep.
But your staff has not practiced that handoff enough. You have to get the reps in here. So that's my high horse there for explaining it. If you are doing a price comparison tool, if you don't take anything away from this, why? Why?
I find it interesting just taking a step back and looking at behaviors within a practice, because I think we're really good at selling optical glasses and glasses in the optical, and I think that those skill sets don't always translate over to what we do in our contact lens sales, even though in my mind they should parallel pretty well. Before we jump into that, I just wanted to address and kind of move past the idea that contact lenses are they profitable or not for the practice. And so I did a real quick. I've got access to lots of different groups in their data. So the average contact lens exam per comprehensive exam per routine annual eye exam is about 25%. Everybody quotes 30. Most everybody's wrong because they don't look at their own data. So 25 is the average, 24 to 26. We'll use 25. So if we've got $1 million practice seeing 2,000 patients a year, 2,000 routine eye exams a year, at 25%, that's 500 contact lens exams. And by the way, we don't do fits, we do exams, right? Fitting is the F word. Francis Bynum taught me that. So we do 500 contact lens exams. For the sake of argument, I've taken my contact lens exam fee, not including specialty and medically necessary and keratoconic and whatnot, but my everyday contact lens exam fee down to one fee. So let's just use a round number and say that that's $80, like collected after, the mandatory managed vision care discounts and whatnot. I think that's low. Mine's higher than that, but just for sake of numbers, so 500 times 80 gives us $40,000. So you're bringing in $40,000 a year just in service fees, which if you've got a NCLE trained technician, they're doing the majority of the work. So that's not all doctor time, right? So 40,000 there. Let's take that a step further. And I stopped trying to track annual supplies. That was a little bit tough because sometimes, especially with dailies, maybe I buy 4 boxes now and 4 boxes later. Does that count or not? So instead I just say, what's the average sale per contact lens exam, right, in dollars, in revenue. So my office is 400. Let's drop that down and say 350.
That's about what we see, Aaron.
Is it 400?
Through Dr. Contact Lens, yeah.
Okay, so 400. Let's use 400.
We're more premium dailies too. So remember, if you're more skewed premium dailies, it's going to be higher. If you're still stuck in that 2-week brand or more monthly, it's going to be lower.
So
that's why it's actually skewing higher, which is great. And we're seeing that same trend.
Cool. Well, let's, for the sake of argument, let's screw down. Let's just say 350, right? And so 350.
Before you continue there, while he's saying this, okay? So I want you to look at every script that you're writing as a $350 gift card that someone either gets to spend in your store or in somebody else's. Okay? So as he goes through this, every script that you walk to the printer, you're putting a $100 bill on it and a $50 bill on it, and you're clicking print.
Yep.
3 $100 bills and a $50 bill. Okay, keep going. Sorry. Just want this to be very visual because I think this is where we go wrong with this.
Yep. So at $350 per contact lens exam, right, in material sales. So we've got 500 contact lens exams annually times 350. That's $175,000.
Potentially, if you have 100% capture rate.
That's actually my capture rate. That's what I'm doing every day in the office. So if I see 100 contact lens exams, and I add up all the material sales that I have, and I divide it up equally amongst those exams, we're collecting 350. Actually, we're collecting 400, but we use 350 here, right? So that's real dollars hitting the bank. So that's $175,000 in the bank. Now, before I was using Dr. Contact Lens, it wasn't quite that high because we weren't capturing as many, so that number's gone up. So if I add that $175,000 to my $40,000 in exam fees on contact lenses, I'm looking at $215,000 just in my everyday routine, right? And I'm not trying to minimize this, but my everyday routine contact lens business, not sclerals, not ortho-K, not keratoconic, not any of those, just the stuff that comes in a box, all right, that we're selling. And so that's a significant amount. Now, it's not just that, because on top of it, right, I get rebates back from the manufacturers and whatnot, and yes, I have cost of goods in there, but it's not an insignificant amount of money, because that 200,000 exams comes for $1 million practice, right? Well, that's almost, 20% of that's over 20% of the practice revenue on $1 million practice. So I do this math to say, stop ignoring it, because it's easy to say, well, I might only make a little bit here, my markup's not that much there. No, it is. It's a significant, or could be a significant amount of your business, and there's lots of different levers to pull. One is obviously to see more exams, but two, it's to help the people that you have seen an exam, a contact lens exam, to get the product that you prescribed because you believe it's best for them through you. Because if they have a problem,
and stay connected to you. Because if they go to Costco or they go somewhere else and they get a reminder after that expires, now you can get an online vision test, or maybe that, they went in there to buy something, or their contacts are expired, and now that doctor is open there. So I want people to realize your contact lens business is what drives everything, a lot of other things. Yes. Your dry eye, your myopia management, just so much of your practice is driven because these people come back and they're the ones that actually spend in your practice. So having this as a pillar, right? You have 4 levers you can pull: sell more contacts, see more contact lens patients; sell more glasses, see more glasses patients; specialty care, and then there's another pillar there. So, whatever it is, just seeing more patients in general, right? That's the only levers you can pull to make your revenue go up. And when you look at this, and we've counted the steps, just like you said, that Barry, it's 28 steps to process a single contact lens order. So my mom called me the other day and she said, "Hey, Brianna, I'm out." When I had to do that prior to Dr. Contact Lens, it would have taken me 10 minutes. And guys, you think that's 7 to 8 minutes. That's concentrated time. Now you've got the phone ringing with another patient. Now you've got another patient checking out of you. So that 8 minutes becomes 16 or 24 minutes. That's where you have to look at these clicks. Clicks kill. They kill your flow. They kill your momentum in your practice.
Yep.
So when I'm talking all these other systems out there where they're drop down selecting very heavy, that's doctor time. That's patient time. That's staff time. So on a Biofinity toric or an AccuView One Day Oasis toric, think of all those clicks that you have to drop down select. With our system, it doesn't have to do that. And then you're connecting that patient back. So a lot of the time, Aaron, I hear my annual supply rate is so good and my capture rate is so good. Well, pre-doctor contact lens, Aaron, if you saw 10 contact lens patients that day, could you tell me how every encounter ended?
No.
Easily. Like without going chart by chart by chart.
No.
Okay?
No.
So think of this like a net at the end of the day. Okay, I was busy. I saw 25 patients. 10 of them were contact lens wearers. Here's the 5 that ordered. So I sold 3-year supplies and 2 partial supplies. 1 patient's in trials. Oh God, don't get me started on trials. And then 4 patients walked.
Yep.
So here's my orders that need to be done for the day. And here are the patients that I need to invite and keep them connected to my store. No other system does that. And I think what else is out there, and again, I love other systems as they're popping up, but this is not an area that you can fully automate because it is 25% of your revenue. This is not a set it and forget it. This is working a system, working a process, working with your team to do this every patient, every encounter, every time. Because when one leaves a day, think of it this way, 1 patient, whether it's a glasses patient or a contact lens patient, leaves your practice today, that's $90,000. That's only on $300.
It's $90,000, and so you said a couple things there that are really key. And I'll work backwards. The first is when 1 patient leaves a day, we don't notice that attrition because it's only 1. And
Correct.
So and there might be a day where there's none and you go, oh yay, or there might be a day when somebody walks in with an outside script that we sell to. And so like we celebrate it, right? But it's the leak of the bucket is so small.
Oh my God, it's so
because we noticed when like the roof collapses in my old house, we had a leak and the roof like fell in and we had the whole movie. It was amazing. But you don't notice the small little leak. And, or if you do, you say, I'll go fix it later, right? It's that small little leak under the sink that ends up ruining your entire bathroom, counter, furniture. I won't say furniture in the bathroom, but like the whole cabinet, there you go. But you didn't notice that's one small little leak. And that's what happens in our capture rate, in our capture in the office with both glasses and contacts. The other thing that it makes me think of when you talk about doctor contact lens and that net is I've got a shopping habit. I promise this will come back around, but I've got a shopping habit. I love shoes.
I know you love your shoes.
I love my shoes. I love my backpacks. I need to do a whole episode on my backpacks and travel backpacks. But I've put myself on a 72-hour rule. If I go shopping online, I put it in the cart and I can't buy it for 72 hours to see if I still want it or if I just needed that dopamine hit of putting it in the cart. Those companies are so good. I start getting messages and emails immediately. Hey, you forgot something in your cart. Are you sure you want this? Right. I've also noticed that if you wait long enough, they'll send you like a $10 coupon too, which means that I get it for $10 less than I have to do it. But so for me, the doctor contact lens is that, right? Because we don't have a good CRM. I don't have a person that's following through and did you buy or not. But it's that, hey, you still have something that you haven't finished yet. Let's reach out to you and help you buy it on your terms. Right, sitting on the couch in your pajamas, watching Love Island, and whatever it is, and you're like, oh yeah, I need more contacts. So it's not on my terms; it's on your term as the consumer of healthcare to get it. So I think it's really important that we have that in our practices because otherwise somebody else is going to capture that person.
And they're hoping to, by the way, like the FTC rule. That was the whole reason we built this. We knew that rule was coming. That rule is not for you. That rule is for online retailers to get a crack at what you have the first crack at. So when a patient leaves, don't look at it like I call it on to the next syndrome. This is not about on to the next syndrome, guys. Because guess what? You got another patient right behind there.
Yep.
But this is something to plug. It's something to pay attention to. Because right now you do have on to the next syndrome. What if tomorrow that wasn't there? So not for doom and gloom, but to protect the asset that you've built, protect the patients that you have that relationship with. You've got to plug all that together. But on the trial lens side to this, and I know you and I share very similar views to this, think of it this way. When a patient comes in and you give them, and I don't do this, but a sample of a drop. You're like, I want you to go get this, at CVS, and I sell everything I prescribe, I sell. I don't care if there's a $3 margin on it. I don't care. This is one-stop shop, okay? But I'm going to give you a sample.
Before you move on,
Yeah.
Why do you do that? I don't just recommend Peak Pro to my patients. I use it daily, and so does my whole family. Honestly, it's one of those rare products my wife and daughters all love. So much so they actually fight over who stole the tea tree cleanser, the peptide cream, or even the hyaluronic acid. I had no idea this would be the case when I introduced them to the Peak Pro products. But I've learned they're a great company to work with, and their lineup covers everything from daily eyelid hygiene to deep hydration. I highly recommend checking them out. We've got a special affiliate link in the show notes, and use code Warner for 25% off. The Myopia Collective. CooperVision and the AOA have partnered in a groundbreaking initiative to change the way optometrists in the U.S. treat children with myopia. The purpose of the Myopia Collective is to rally the profession of optometry and its allies to interrupt the status quo and elevate the new standard of care for children with myopia. Every individual is encouraged to become a member of the collective. By joining, you commit to taking action to help slow the progression of myopia in children. You'll receive updates and information about the collective and its work in the fight against myopia, gain access to educational opportunities and resources offered by the collective, and hear from change agents, the ambassador optometrists selected to serve as advocates for community and policy change that facilitates the mission of the collective. Scan the QR code or click on the link in the show notes to join the collective today. In the past, our focus revolved around prescribing MacuHealth or MacuHealth Plus to patients at risk of macular degeneration, while also recommending it to collegiate and professional athletes for enhanced contrast sensitivity in sports performance. However, this year's introduction of the Life Meter has been a game changer. The Life Meter revealed a concerning truth. Many of my patients have alarmingly low skin carotenoid levels, indicating potential deficiencies in essential body tissues like the retina and brain. Supported by over 30 peer-reviewed publications, Life Meter's accuracy, consistency, and effectiveness has been demonstrated across 2,000 subjects with diverse backgrounds. With this newfound insight, I can now have meaningful conversations about carotenoid levels with all of my patients, even those who may seem outwardly healthy. To learn more about this empowering technology, feel free to contact your MacuHealth representative or click on the link in the show notes. Together, let's optimize patient care and elevate their well-being.
Why do I sell everything I prescribe?
Yes.
Because again, this is about me with the authority. This is about me giving the patient the opportunity and keeping it so sticky to my practice that they stay there. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that these reorders happen, right? But we have stuff like that we're putting into the system. But they want to buy it. And there's a trick here. Like, I'll grab it off the shelf, like as we're walking by. I'll actually hand it to the patient so they take ownership. And then I take it back and I put it on the counter. So this with trials, but guess what? If you gave that patient a sample, they come back in a year for their comprehensive, or 18 months, right, on average. And they're like, hey, did you how's your dry eye? You got that sample of, the refresh I gave you. And they're say, oh, I was supposed to buy more? Oh my God. Yes, right? It's the same thing. So we call this, what did tacos and trials have in common, Aaron?
Ooh,
it's the what's for dinner conversation. Okay?
Yeah.
So I walk home, so follow me here, Aaron. I'm like, Aaron, what should we have for dinner? And you're like, oh my God, I don't know.
I don't care.
I don't know. Like,
Pick
you
something.
had a busy day, I had a busy day, right? Or you say, okay, should we have tacos or spaghetti? And you're like, I don't care. Just pick one. Or you're like, hey, Josh, I stopped on my way home and I picked up, Thai food for dinner. Amazing.
Yeah.
Right? So we all have this decision fatigue. You're evaluating a contact lens. You're doing a contact lens exam. And you have the expertise. yes, your PETA patients, the pain in the ass patients, you're going to see them back for their eventual follow-ups or evaluation visits. I don't call them follow-ups because follow-ups are free. Guys, prescribe from that chair. I know you're going to love this lens. You can order your supply today. I've approved you for that. Hey, if you need a couple of days, I'm going to send you an invitation. If you love it, go ahead and order it. If you don't, call me back. We'll get you right in. So Scott, one of my account executives for Dr. Contact Lens, he went through this process. So he was fit with contacts in a local practice. The doctor gave him 4 different things to try. Doesn't know where he works, right? And it took her 2 months to finalize something for him. Through an email that went back and forth with pricing. Guys, do you think that that's a great use of someone's time? And then he would forget to call back during business hours. 54% of our orders come in between 6 p.m. and 9 a.m. Another 24% is between 11 and 1 p.m. Guys, those are times you're not there. Those are times that you're missing phone calls. So view this with everybody on your team through the lens as a customer. People are Uber eating McDonald's right now because they don't want to go out and buy McDonald's.
Oh, yes. Got a story with my kid on that one. Well, not only that, but I hire people in my office that are people, right? They want to interact, which also means none of them want to answer the phone. And it's a break, it's a disruption in their process. So if you can get rid of that process, kind of like when we were first launching and rolling out the direct to patient, and we've been doing this for 10 years now, and mailing contact lenses directly to patients instead of having it come through the office. Single box annual supply, it didn't matter. We always shipped it to the patient, even if I had to pay the shipping cost, because I paid less in shipping costs than I paid in staff time to answer the phone, take the order, all that other nonsense. And now it's becoming pretty standard to direct to patient. Quite frankly, we're piloting a program in the optical too, from our lab, to direct ship glasses to patients.
I love
amazing. But you said it earlier in the conversation where it's about trust, and I think that when patients don't read our body language and our tonality and trust, they have a distrust as well. So if I give somebody, like Scott had, 4 different options, I'm telling you, either they're all kind of the same and it doesn't matter, or they all kind of suck, pick the best one. I'm not saying I haven't customized a single thing, so while we may believe we're helping somebody be involved in the process, we're actually hurting the process. And I had said earlier too that we do things in the optical really well that don't translate over. I don't give my patients trials in their progressive lenses. Right? They buy a pair of glasses today, and if it doesn't work, bring them back, and we'll make sure it works. Right? Which is the same thing that I now do and we now do with our contacts. Hey, here's what's going to be best for you. It's going to be best for you because we put about the vast majority of our patients in the MyDay product, the MyDay Energist. They love it. You're going to love it too. We're going to order them, ship it to your house today. The handful of lenses I've given you should run out right about the time when the boxes are showing up at your doorstep. If for any reason you don't like them, bring them back. Bring me back a completely empty box and tell me you hated the whole thing, and I'll make it right or refund 100% of your money. Guess what? It doesn't happen. They don't bring them back. And if they do, we've got such a good relationship with the rep that he's going to swap us out and comp us a box. I'm not out anything. And I've already made money on the deal, so if I do have to eat, there's a little bit of sunken cost in every business. If I do have to eat a box, I eat a box. Right? Very, very, very rare when it happens. But you know what we do? We sell a bunch of contacts. And people are happy because
you're
they
not
came
getting
to
hung
me.
up on the weeds. You're not getting hung up by those one-offs. You're not getting hung up by the package thieves or whatever is out there. And guys, this works for any size practice, anywhere in the U.S., including Alaska and Hawaii, because I have customers there. So rural North Dakota to crazy South Florida and Miami, right? This works across the board. And I think that's part of it. And we all know you give great customer service. That's not what we're saying. We all know that you're a great doctor. This is about elevating you to that next level. My friends were in town, and they were making fun of me because obviously Dr. Contact Lens come up, and I was like, yeah, guys, the SaaS is, the SaaS company is going well. And they're like, Brianna, wait, hold on. Like, you sell SaaS? Like, SaaS? And I was like, oh, God, this is going to be a long weekend. So I, gave them, this whole tech CEO jargon quiz, or, quiz us. They actually were, intimidating. So, software as a service is a SaaS company. And, yes, I do sell SaaS on the side. That's part of the coaching that you get with Dr. Contact Lens is because, again, if you have someone that leaves you and they get promoted to patient next week that's been your front desk girl forever, you got to start over again. And I know that process is hard. Aaron and I have lived that, right? But at Dr. Contact Lens, it's that coaching. Call us. We will train them. I hate leaky buckets. I hate them. So that's part of this, where you put these checks and balances in place and sit at your front desk, answer these calls. So again, the order for my mom took me 2 seconds. And this was built, funny story, this was built, my dad is the most electronically challenged human being. So if you're I'm skewed more, elderly patients or that, 50 to whatever, 75 age group that is a little electronically challenged sometimes. I have to be careful saying that now because my hubby just had a big birthday. Now AARP is sending us stuff. So I'm already? Damn, that's not even presbyopic, nor will I ever be. The piece to that is when we built this, I told our amazing CTO, I said, look, the first order will be my dad. Meaning if he cannot do it, then we don't have anything. That's how simple we have made this. And we flipped it backwards. We did it with the patient first, then to the team, then to you as the doctor, because you're not the one in there. You're the one in the bank account, right? And you get to watch it come in. But your staff doesn't care about that, nor does your patient. They just want it to be easy. And when they see that, we call it exiting through the gift shop. So Space Mountain lets you off in the gift shop for a reason. Instead of printing that gift card and printing that prescription for the patient, let's save some trees, let's save some ink, let's do it digitally. Inside there, they log in through the HIPAA, PCI compliant, all the stuff that you want to throw out there. Guys, we all have to do that. It's in there for them to either download or click order and see that you're actually less expensive by making them go do their homework. And away you go. So now there's my favorite story of the patient. I think she's 64 or something. And she's like, hey, Dr. Rhue, best eye exam I've ever had. I want to, order through Dr. Contact Lens this year. I'm like, never sent an invitation faster.
Yeah.
Right? So this also is where I hear Aaron, people I want my brand, I want my brand, I want my practice brand on there. The dual branding here works, guys. They all think you're on your yacht on the weekend. I know Aaron's is very, very big, right?
Yeah.
And now, send that PJ out here.
Exactly.
That private jet, I'm waiting for it, Aaron. The piece to that, there's, again, that trust factor. They don't want to know that they're getting hosed. Neither do you, right? We've all done it. You go to Barnes & Nobles, what are you checking? There's a trust thing there. And now, when you dual brand that, and a lot of a lot of your patients will call our service line to get help, which we help them with, right? They have no idea who they saw. No idea. What doctor are you connected to? I have no idea. So unless that patient has seen you multiple times, I'm sorry, guys. They don't know your name.
And I don't think that's a bad thing. It's I was talking with a friend of mine about this, and I know where my dental office is.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of and I definitely don't know the name of my hygienist, right? I know they're great. I know I enjoy going there. And I'm sure that I'm a giant pain in the rear end because of my travel schedule. I have to reschedule every single one of my visits. And so they laugh, and now they've just got
they know you.
They know me. Name. They know me very well.
That's a problem patient right there. When I know your name, we have a problem.
They do. But they've also learned to make it efficient for me. And that when it comes time to my cleaning, they just start calling or sending me a text in the morning being like, hey, I've got an opening tomorrow morning. I know your schedule's tough. Will that work? Which ends up working great for me because I'm much better, not planning that far out. So they've learned to do it on my terms. And I think that is very helpful for, to apply to what we do in our practices. So I'm curious, Brianna, because we've talked a lot, we hit through. So if somebody came to you and said, I'm opening my practice, I want to have the perfect contact lens pillar, right?
Yeah.
And perfect I know doesn't exist, but if we were to design the perfect contact lens pillar, starting obviously with, my patient comes in for their routine annual eye exam with, XYZ managed vision care insurance or whatever, how would you build that for them? What would the steps be for that contact lens clinic?
First up, it's sign up with Dr. Contact Lens. Like, you just put this in there because it's a CRM. So a lot of these cold starts, Aaron, too, is the data play here is really big. So when your team is going to 4 different systems, that's 4 different experiences, that's 4 different logins, that's 4 different things to forget, 4 different areas to manage. I love distributors for a reason. Please bring the business back there, guys. The rebate that you're getting, it's a patient rebate. It's not your rebate. You're deciding for the patient on a patient rebate. Okay? Stood on a chair talking about this the other day. I'm like, you're making a business decision on something you don't even get.
Yeah.
And I had a doctor who onboarded with Dr. Contact Lens, and she was really hung up on this rebate thing. And it shows all the rebates in there because you got 4 different tear-off pads for one company now. Okay?
Yeah.
It all added up to what it was. But then we looked at her data and she would not go. And I'm like, you saw 9 contact lens patients yesterday. You sold to 1 of them. 8 of them walked on you. So you're paying attention to some of the wrong things. So right here, patient day opens, you get them in, it comes over through your EMR system, you quote them, they're your supply, you close them on the spot, and if they walk, you send them the invitation. It's that simple, guys.
Yep.
And if
exactly
you sell them a partial supply, you're now reminding them automatically. There's no spreadsheets here. There's no, answering the phone. Those missed call texts, it's a link on your website. It's a cohesive program. Mm-hmm. And you pick a distributor. A distributor. Keep this so simple. The savings that you think you're getting may look big, but it's costing your team so much time. And you're also building someone else's database. Aaron and I are big on this, guys. I'm teaching you the game. We're teaching you the game here. I'm going to take my Dr. Contact Lens hat off. When you do those types of things, that's a race to the bottom, and that hurts my private practice. So understand that your data has so much value. Your practice in the future is not going to be valued on kind of your practice. It's going to be valued on the amount of information that you have, and have you been able to utilize that?
Yep.
That's the cool thing. So with us, we go back in time 2 years, pull in all those patients. I think we made you, $7,000 in like a week or 2 weeks?
Almost overnight, yeah.
Our record, we made one clinic in 3 weeks. We made them $97,000, right? So that's what I want you to understand, that you're sitting on, both in the glasses part of your side and in the contact lens side. It's all right there. And again, one doesn't look like a lot.
No, and that's the hard part, is that one a day, right, doesn't look like a lot. That one patient a day doesn't look like a lot. And just to build off of what that perfect contact lens, clinic is, I think, you start by offering contacts to everybody, because we've talked about how valuable a contact lens patient is. And my preferred phrase is, hey, contacts are our preferred way to correct your vision. Because I think that it enhances your life a whole lot more. It's not the only way. And then your contact lens strategy, I'm a fan of pick 1 or 2 vendors and kind of be that person, right? We happen to be a Cooper office, and 84%, I was looking this morning at our OGP report, 84% of our units are Cooper. So we run that system very well. Some people like to have multiple options, right? But realize the more you split the baby, the more you're splitting the baby with all of them. So whatever your contact lens strategy is, make sure it's defined. If you like to really match people with the right thing, great. But just make sure that you are very defined in what your strategy is. Again, I'm a firm believer in a one or two contact lens vendor. Make it simple. Be that kind of, be that office. Make sure everybody knows. I think same thing for fees. Narrow your fees down to one or two fees. Make it really easy. Don't talk about adult diapers. When somebody says how much is contacts, don't say depends. Just be able to give them a number.
I think you have stock in Depends. Just like everybody on this call has stock in an online retailer, they just don't know it.
Yes. And
you do realize you have stock in that business.
Yeah. Well, I send people their way. They have stock in me. I just don't pay me.
No, I'm just saying, when a contact lens script walks, you actually.
Oh yeah.
Guys, I've seen these numbers. They're insane.
Yep. But then finalize quickly, right? We don't have to go through this long process. Patients don't want to go through this long process. Contacts work. They're great. And the number of people wearing contacts and the few serious adverse reactions are really, really small. And they work. They're fantastic. So we try to finalize as quick as we can, get them ordered, and then anything through us, we're very liberal in making sure we take care of the patient because we want to focus on that. And Dr. Contact Lens, as you said, is that safety net for us to make sure that patients don't fall off and fall through. Because I think when that happens, we've failed them. They haven't failed us, but we've failed them. And that's my way of making sure that we don't do that.
And also some really low-hanging fruit is advocating for your kids. Your kids, especially your girls, your 7 to 10-year-old girls. That was me. That's actually why I became an optometrist.
Oh, cool.
Because my mom advocated for my doctor to put me in contacts in 3rd grade. And, just absolutely changed my life. So as myopia management, and you're building these moats around your practice, yes, you're opening the doors into this online world, but that's what makes this so fun and so valuable at what you do, that your patient's coming in for you to make a decision for them. So don't give them that decision fatigue, because they're going to go somewhere else. Yep. Or they won't come back to you because they just had that kind of experience. So think of it all the way through. That data in there, just it's not a set it and forget it. Again, I wish that it could be, but with this being such a big pillar of your revenue, there has to be checks and balances in here. So don't forget about that. And watch that growth. On average, through one of the distributors, we grew on average these accounts by 28%. On average. So if you take out these outliers, which they did for us, it was actually 36%.
Wow.
Where can you, in your practice, this again, Aaron, let's say your capture rate 70%. Okay, what are you going to bring in? Another annual supply training and do an annual supply training, and that, they get promoted to patient next week again?
Yep.
No, we've moved some accounts from 65% capture rate to 85% overnight by following a process. And this, guys, this is about change management too. Where do you want to sit? If you're sitting here and it's 2030 in your practice in 2030, these systems are no longer a nice to have. 10 years ago when we created this, it was a nice to have. This is a must have in your clinic, and you need to invest in it. So this isn't about what's cheapest. This isn't about what you're getting for free. If you're getting something for free or cheap, you better ask better questions. So you can request your iPitch book here to help you make decisions, because we love being on the fence there. That's the fun part of this. Is Aaron's teaching you this side of the game. I'm teaching you this side of the game. Yes, I have an invested interest because I'm on a mission, Aaron, to take down online retailers, one prescription at a time, that connects it back to your freaking practice. That's passion. I've seen it work. I know it's on the other side of this. And I want us all to play the game that's been played against us for so long. That's kind of my soapbox.
Yeah. Nicely done. Yeah. And no, I agree. Right? It's a game. I love playing games, and sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And knowing the rules of the game and knowing how to play the game helps you play to win. And I think it's important that as this game continues to evolve, we have the right players on our side, and we know the rules of the game, and it's why I love having you on, because you help us with that. To put some dollars to your 28% growth with the distributor, going back to the original math we did at the beginning, right? If I take that $175,000 annually on material sales, 30% of that is $50,000. So this is not small money. That's another staff member. That's paying off some of the equipment that you bought at a conference because you decided you needed it on a whim, right? That's not small dollars. And it's no additional work that we're doing because you already did the work.
Yeah.
Just now helping your patient do what they wanted to do, which is get what you prescribed them anyway from the best place possible, which is you. And so I think that there's real dollars and cents in there. There's real efficiencies in there as well, and definitely passion. I mean, there's one of the reasons why I think that independent optometry is the best place to get care, right? Whether you're an associate in the practice, whether you're a staff member working in the practice, whether you own the practice, right? It's that passion. It's really hard to have your passion shine through when you've got guardrails and parameters put in place by the corporate overlords, if you will, right, or the biggers. But that the mom and pop community optometry practice is just where we build those connections with people, and that's why they come to us. And I think it's why we work in those environments. So I appreciate you.
And when too, if you think that you're still on the fence here, what I also like to talk about is when a patient leaves, or when you get a bad review, or whatever it may be, right? But specifically when a patient leaves, they're giving you feedback, specific feedback. And this is what Aaron and I have done a great job in our practices, is opening that up. So there's three, I'll end here, but there's three KPIs now that I've been measuring here for about 3 months. And oh my God, are they eye-opening.
Oh, bad.
So one of them, they text me every day. One girl will text me these 3 metrics. What our collections were for the day. So collected receipts, everything, okay? Complete exams over total exams, and how many pairs of glasses we sold. Complete pairs, not this patient-owned frame. On average, when we started this, it was 3 a day. 3 pairs of glasses a day. I've had now clinics doing this for quite some time, or now, like when I started, I've shared it. Some of these clinics were at 1 pair of glasses a day on 9 exams, 10 exams. And my staff, when I brought them the metric, they're like, there's no way we sell more of that, because you look at their desks, they're so busy.
Yeah.
Everyone's so busy. And like, there's no way we sell more than that. I was like, well, let's find out.
Yeah.
Nope. 3.
It's surprising.
4. I think our record since we've been tracking it now is 7. Right? So just those 3 metrics.
So what were they? They were total collections that day. So all the dollars that came in. So does that include insurance checks and?
Yep.
Yep. So not what we billed out, but
not what we
dollars that we took in that day from all sources. Cool.
Yep.
The second one was
complete exams. What you like, a 99204 or a 9204, 92014. So a complete exam.
So like your annual comprehensive exam over total exams. So total exams being your medical exams too, all your 9.9s and everything.
Evaluation, stuff that's not,
Got it.
follow-up is whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Okay. So complete exams is a percentage of all the different patient encounters that day.
Exactly. Yep.
And then complete pairs of glasses sold, which is probably the most humbling of those.
Oh my God. And I also now break it down by optician, because one of them was hiding. So they tell me the breakdown sold by optician. So they're marking it, and they have to give her the number. And it is sent to me and my office manager every day. So if you think about this, what it started was, what's one metric, if you just had one, because you know our industry loves freaking KPIs for days.
Yep.
And I hate them. I hate KPIs. I hate it. If I could just look at one thing that would drive everything else that day, that would land on my balance sheet 3 months from now, what would it be? It's full exam that day over total exam. And you see real quick when it's 24 of 36, when it's 20 of 30, when it's 9 of 9, really quick what's driving your business. And you will make changes, because I'm like, whoa.
Yep.
Abort mission. But I share this because I'm in the trenches with you. I see it. But that's what I've been tracking now for 3 months.
Well, that's that. It brings us full circle to the beginning when I talked about, our nose on the ground and just working hard and grinding and grinding and grinding. Sometimes you got to step back up and say, hey, what's the scoreboard? What are we accomplishing from all of our work? Because working harder doesn't necessarily mean working smarter. Sometimes it's the opposite. And Peter, I love Peter Drucker's quote of what gets measured gets managed, right? Until you know what you're doing and what the numbers are, it's hard to make the right decisions. It's hard to make the right management. And Chris and Kyle teach all the time that everything starts from that comprehensive exam. So I agree with you. I think that's the driver that enters people into our optical
Your
bucket,
pipeline,
our
your
contact
funnel.
lens bucket, our drive buckets, myopia management, all the above. Right? You can't do it, at least in the way our worlds are set up, typically without that.
So when you do good work, it creates more work.
Yes.
That's the point.
Yep. Yep. So
Understand your
I love
value.
it.
It's all right there, guys. Go after it, man.
Go after it. Well, Brianna, I'm looking forward to catching up. By the time this airs, we'll have already been at Expo, but looking forward to seeing you in Las Vegas in a couple days and connecting as we always do. We've got Book Nerds coming up, and great book. Glad you guys are enjoying the
I am.
Matheny Manifesto and a little bit of fall baseball reading for us. And some really good practice management, I think, that parallels managing a baseball team. So appreciate your friendship and your passion.
Yeah, my pleasure. Same.